Hello, Fort Wainwright. Colonel Nate Surrey here, your U.S. Army Garrison, Alaska commander. Got a couple hot topics for you today, and the first one is near and dear to my heart, childcare and childcare employment opportunities on this base. As everyone knows, our wait list for our childcare is hovering around 200. Two things we're doing to solve that. One, a new CDC is being built, as you know, over by the PFC right now. Will open in December of 23. That, coupled with our other CDCs, long run, will exhaust that wait list. But the critical component is staffing. And so this is my time to please ask for anybody that's interested in childcare. If you want employment, we've got opportunities, and they're vast. There's direct care opportunities where you're actually taking care of the children in ratio. You can do that at our CDCs, our school-age center, at our youth center. There's also the capability to do it in your own home. We call these family child care homes. And you can take on 3, 4, 5, 6 kids, whatever the max is, which is, I think, 6. And there's all kinds of incentives and bonuses right now. There's a laundry list of them. One of the new ones that we have right now is if you are hired to work in our CDCs, number one, you go to the top of the priority list for your own children to be in the CDCs. And number two, you get a 50% discount on your first child and 20% for those after. It's pretty significant. So if you're interested in childcare or interested in being a maintenance technician or a cook or a youth sports provider, there is tons of opportunities. For more information, on 20 October at North Haven Community Center, we will have a fair there with all of our folks from Parent Central Services and Child Youth Services to help you navigate the different opportunities. And then most importantly, I think, which is tough for a lot of people, is navigating USA Jobs and how to put in a resume and actually make sure your application is certified. Because chances are, if your application is certified, you're going to get a job offer. So again, hope to see you there. If you want information right now, you can always call our Parent Central Services, and you'll see that number at the bottom here in a minute on the screen, anytime, and they will put you in touch with the right folks to help walk you through the application right now. So again, thanks ahead of time. Appreciate all our wonderful child caregivers because their job is tough, but it's extremely rewarding. All right, the next topic is Red Ribbon Week. Red Ribbon Week is to teach our parents how to communicate with their children and vice versa. That is the theme. But the so what behind it is it's enabling you to build these relationships that create trusting communication with your children. Why is that important? Because this world is dangerous. And as our children move upward in age, especially getting close to teenage years, they're exposed to a lot more dangerous things. One of those things happens to be drugs and alcohol. I just happened to run across a topic today from the Drug Enforcement Agency, putting out a warning and a new campaign saying one pill will kill. Our country has been inundated with something called fentanyl. If you have not heard about that drug, I implore you to read about it. I implore you to educate yourself about it because it's rampant across our communities, and it can kill you the first time you take it because it's 50 times at a minimum more powerful than heroin or morphine. That is why I encourage you to come to our Red Ribbon Week. There's all kinds of activities. It's at the Last Frontier Community Activity Center, and I think you'll get a lot out of it. And it'll kind of give you that first step to kind of learn how to talk to your children about some of these tough topics, one of which is use of drugs and alcohol. Here's a quick video for a little bit more.
Red Ribbon is a time to focus on our families and our children. Here at Fort Wainwright, we use fun, engaging STEM activities for children and caregivers to teach skill sets related to developing healthy relationships that will protect our youth. This year's Red Ribbon is October 15th, located at the Last Frontier Activities Center. For children 12 to 17, we have hands-on educational stations that they complete in addition to receiving a STEM kit. While we encourage registration, walk-ins are welcome on a space available basis. We look forward to seeing you and your families there.
All right, team, our next top topic is Halloween. This is the month of October, and we have a wonderful opportunities for our families this year. We will have open trick-or-treat across the community. That's awesome. We did not have that last year because of something I don't want to talk about, which is in the past. I don't even want to say the word. But trick-or-treat is happening this year. We also have trunk-or-treat for those families that want to do that also. And we have Boot of the Flu, which is, again, something we haven't had in a couple years, which is at the hospital. So your children have 3 possible times to get a bunch of candy and bring up the workload for the dentist. The first one would be on the 29th of October on Saturday from 1700 to 1900. That's trunk or treat, which we've done the last several years. You would park in the surrounding areas and then walk your children through several different awesome trunks. I mean, and they're bigger than trunks. They're huge fortresses that are built out there to get candy. 1900 on 29 October at the Last Frontier Community Activity Center parking lot. Then on the 31st, you have 2 events. First, you can go to the hospital. They have several exhibits all throughout the hospital. There'll be a way for your children to go through upstairs and downstairs where all the different units at the hospital will be set up and decorated, some haunted, some not, and hand candy out to your children. That's on 31 October. Immediately following that, across the Fort Wainwright community starts trick-or-treat, door-to-door, out in your communities, in your housing areas, and that's from 1800 to 2000. We'll have our DES police all over the place, ensuring that the children are safe in those neighborhoods. So look forward to this year's Halloween because we're back on track, full of business like we were back in 2019. Okay, next topic is Happy Lights. First time I heard that, I had no idea what the people were talking about. But I can tell you from experience, they work. You can buy them yourself, usually about $30 on Amazon or Walmart or wherever. Or you can rent them for free, check them out for free from our Army Community Service. They have up to 500 of them right now, but you put them not directly in front of you, you don't stare at them, you put them to the side of your peripheral like the 1 or 11 o'clock. I have one in my office and I have one at my house, so in the morning when I'm making coffee, those lights are coming in my face. And what it does, it has a psychological effect to make you happy. And try it out before you laugh at it, because it does work. And it helps prevent things like seasonal affective disorder, or SAD, which can happen up here in the months of November through February, when we have anywhere from about 5 hours to 2.5 hours of daylight. So highly recommend you do that. The number on the screen you can see, 355-7908 is where you call, or you can just show up and they'll check one out for you. Okay, the next one, USO, United Service Organizations. Most people know the acronym USO. Amazing organization. Can't say enough about it. I've utilized their resources, and many of you have too. The soldiers that have deployed, there's always wonderful USOs on all the bases. And there's also USOs in a lot of the large terminals for airports around the country. SeaTac in Seattle has one, Atlanta has one, Dallas, Fort Worth, so forth and so on. And they're free to utilize for our families, for our dependents and our service members to help out in those stressful situations. Here at Fort Wainwright, I'm sitting in the USO, and here shortly you're going to see a video from Lindsay Dillon, our director. They have a gym right over here to my left, and currently there's nobody in it. If you haven't seen it, you need to come check it out. There's an area where you can take your small children and let them play while you're actively working out. Highly, highly recommend you come check out this USO. There's gaming rooms here. There's a ping pong table. There's free snacks. There's computers. It's a wonderful place for soldiers and families to come for an hour or so here and there throughout the day or in the early evenings. Without further ado, here's the video.
Hello, my name is Lindsay Dillon. I manage USO Fort Wainwright. We are located at 3727 Neely Road, right next to the old DFAC. We have lots of great programming that we do each month to include birthday parties for soldiers and family members every month. We do lunches. We have various activities that differ every month to include paint nights, holiday programming, which we're going to get into here come October, November, and December. In October, we are going to have Bear the Therapy Dog here. We're also going to have a Halloween event during the day. So be sure to check out our Facebook page at USO Alaska, and also our group, USO Fort Wainwright, which you can join to make sure that you don't miss any events. Soon we're going to start back our outreach program, to where we're going out into the community and out on post to reach different units. So be sure to get in those unit requests. We do ask for at least 3 weeks heads up for those unit requests. The USO is a nonprofit organization, so thanks to kind donations, we are able to offer all of our events free for service members and families. We have computers that are very popular at our center that have free printing up to 10 pages and do have CAC access. We have snacks available, coffee, drinks, pool table, ping pong table. We have a movie room, so if you want to go back there and relax or watch a movie with your family, it's perfect for those families that have been cooped up in the hotel for a little bit. We have a video gaming system that people can play whenever they come to the center. We also have a fantastic gym that is very underutilized. It's open when our center is open. Treadmills, bikes, weight system. We even have a kids play area, so where parents can have their children in that play area while they work out. So I get a lot of questions about when we're going to be able to expand our hours. So we are primarily a volunteer-ran organization, so we cannot do our mission without wonderful volunteers. If you're interested in volunteering, please check out volunteers.uso.org. You can call or email me. My number is 907-385-9141, or L as in Lindsay, Dillon, DILLON, at USO.org, and I can help walk you through the process. Once we have more consistent volunteers, we will be able to expand our hours to help meet the needs of our service members and families, and also helps us get out into the community more to expand our outreach.
Welcome back. I got our first guest with us today, and he's a dear friend of mine, and I'll tell you, one of the best fire chiefs I've ever been around in my career, and that is the Fort Wainwright Fire Department Chief, Chuck Gibbs. And the reason we brought him in here today is because every year annually, there's a fire prevention month, which is October, which we use to put extra awareness and education into our communities, to try to give them tips to obviously, one, prevent fires, and two, how to quickly react if you do have a situation that you have where you have a fire. I can tell you that I had the privilege with the fire department to go into what I call their hot box, which is where they have a facility on the north or the southeastern side of Post, where they have a 900-degree burn building where the firefighters go in and practice their techniques of how to put out that fire, and provides them confidence with their equipment. And I will tell you, I was nervous at first. You may not saw that, but having the breathing machine on and being exposed to 900 degrees, that was literally a little bit farther from you to me, and it gave me a whole nother level of what you guys do for a living and how dangerous it is, and what you're expected to do, but two, the power of fire. That sounds obvious. A lot of people might say, oh yeah, but when you feel 900 degrees for the first time, you realize, and then how fast a fire can ignite and spread. And I think that's why it's so important that we have Chuck here today. So Chuck, I'd like to ask you, the first question is, what is this all about? Give us what your emphasis is.
Well, the Fire Prevention Week is like I said, is an annual occurrence that concentrates mostly on fire safety in the home and in the workplace, and just being safe all around. This year it has a campaign with it, and this year's campaign is Fire Won't Wait, Plan Your Escape. So every couple of years they change these up so people can concentrate a little bit different areas to provide fire safety within their homes and in their workplaces.
That's a great point. So what can our soldiers and families do to prevent a fire, and of course if a fire does actually start? What is it? Right. What are some tips you can give them?
Some real good tips on, and this time of year is going to be very important because we're kind of rolling into the wintertime right now, and so a lot of folks will be using extra heaters, so the space heaters. So if using those, make sure that they're not close to anything that's flammable. When you're not in the room, turn them off. Use surge protectors on all your equipment, just so in case there is a power surge or something that, you know, your equipment doesn't get a jolt of electricity to, you know, cause it to overheat and spark and catch on fire. Turn off all your household appliances when you leave. A lot of appliances nowadays have safety features on them where they are on timers automatically. So that's kind of really, you know, really done a good job in eliminating a lot of fires and incidents in the home just by having those timers on there. Keep oils and gases away, especially for those who have garages that like to store you know, flammables in their garages and things like that. Especially up here in Alaska, a lot of people do that, and it can turn bad if there is an incident in the home, because now we're just adding more fuel to the fire, so to say, by storing those hazardous chemicals and flammables inside the home.
Yeah, so you're saying don't put the gasoline in the garage?
No, I would try to find a place outside, maybe like a small shed or a covered area outside to put your gas cans in. But leaving them in the home just again adds another layer
and it doesn't freeze, at least
No.
at the temperatures we're at. So
No.
so yeah, that makes
It'll
total
be safe
sense.
out.
That's a good point. Let me ask another question. My brother-in-law's dad in Fort Worth, Texas, was a 40-year fireman, and he said something to me. He says the three things that he's seen a lot of: candles,
Candles, yes.
and then the little plug-in like Glade
Glade air freshener.
air fresheners. He says he's seen a lot of fires with those, so
Right.
we don't use them in our house because of that advice.
Right.
Very cognizant of candles. Make sure we're blowing them out. I know at the end of the night, before I'm usually the last one to go to bed, I do a sweep of the house, make sure the doors are locked, and always check the appliances and for any candles that my kids may have left on or
Right.
left lit, and make sure they're extinguished. That's just a tidbit I have, and I also know where my fire extinguishers are.
Right.
And we have
Yep.
2 in our house right now.
Yes, having the fire extinguishers in your house, all the housing units on the installation have fire extinguishers, and you know, the extinguisher is only as good as the people that are using it. So if you need assistance or like training on it, we do provide that training. We have a mobile unit that we can go out and teach people how to do fire extinguishers, how to operate them safely, and you know how to use them all around. So.
That's
Yeah.
a great point. It seems simple, but if it's the first time you've ever used it, just at least taking a look at the adults or near adults in the house, a quick class on, hey, if this ever happens, make sure you're pointing in the right direction, pulling the tab, always check to make sure it's charged once in a while, and then squeeze, and boom, you got it.
Yep, exactly.
The 2 other things I want to bring up, because I know in the history of Fort Wainwright, the couple things we've seen cause fires. Also, kitchen, grease fires, not paying attention to what's going on your stove.
Right.
You have to be attentive to what's going on your stove. Be in the kitchen at all times, anytime that burner's on. Because once one of those fires starts, usually grease is what will be the case. It goes fast, and you can't put it out like you normally think. Water does not put out a grease fire.
Right.
I've actually seen that in real life when I was a kid. First reaction was put water on it. It just spreads it, right?
Correct.
You smother it. I think it was a baking soda.
Baking soda gets
Yeah,
wrong.
those are the things you just got to have in your mind. And the other one is, don't put hot embers in your trash can.
In the trash can, right.
We had a house burn up on the side for that. So when you're done with your coals, you know, if you have to, put a little water on it, make sure it's completely out,
Right.
you know, and then go from there. So.
Yes, sir. Yep, exactly.
What additional resources are available to remind us of fire safety and help pass the education to our children?
Well, the Fort Wainwright Fire Department has a lot of information that we can provide to anybody who needs it. During the Fire Prevention Week that's coming up, we're going to be stationed over at the PX in the food court area. We'll have a lot of brochures and pamphlets and, you know, educational materials out there that we can give away. We'll also be in the schools, the CDCs, providing a little extra education for the children, especially this year. And to find more information, you can go to nfpa.org. That's a very good website that will provide a lot of really good information for you. The American Red Cross has a good bit of information on fire safety. fire safety in the home or fire safety in the workplace, or what to do in the event of a fire. There's thousands of websites that come up with really good information that you can pass on.
No, that's great. I appreciate it, Chuck. And a special thank you. I know I do this all the time with your team. Every time I'm talking to them, to all the wonderful employees who are firefighters, not only with you, but around our community. One thing a lot of people may not know about our firefighters is they travel as far as Fort Greely to do fire support down there. But the community here, North Star Borough, North Pole, University of Alaska, Fairbanks, and the volunteer fire departments up near Fox and Steese and so forth, so on, they all come together to fight fires. It's an immediate reaction as a team. They get everyone there, and then they start peeling people off once they have it under control. And I've never seen that in my career. Went out with you guys one time on a fire in the middle of the winter. It was -10, I think. And just to watch all of that teamwork was amazing. One thing I found out firefighters is, similar to soldiers and policemen, you have to throttle them back because they're trying to go, they'll go too far, because they're trying to save lives and save structures. So it was phenomenal to see that. And again, thank you for everything you do.
No problem, sir. We were glad to be here.
All right, now I'd like you to watch this awesome video that our team has put together about fire safety.
Hi, Deputy Fire Chief David Halbricks here from the Fort Wainwright Fire Department. In our mutual aid role with fire departments in the borough, we often respond to structure fires. We see the destruction and unfortunate loss of life these fires can cause. Many fires are started by chimney fires that could have been prevented by cleaning of the flue and stovepipes that build up creosote before the heating season. If you own a home, you can do this job yourself or hire a chimney sweep. If burning wood, ensure that it is properly cured. Green wood deposits more creosote that builds up. If you're renting a home, ensure your landlord or property manager has taken care of the chimney or heating system. Remember, be safe this heating season.
Welcome back, Fort Wainwright. Here today with us is Lieutenant Colonel retired Dave Dean, former Fort Wainwright Post Commander from 1990 to 1992. Did I get that right?
Yes, sir.
That's phenomenal. We've got several post commanders here in the retired community, and who knows?
I'm one of four, I think.
I might be one of 5 here in a few years. But it's great to have you, and I know this community does a wonderful job with celebrating events, monumental national holiday events, Memorial Day, 4th of July, and whatnot. And now we're going to talk about Veterans Day. And so, if you don't mind, tell us about what's happening in the Fairbanks community for Veterans Day.
Each year we try to have an activity that recognizes the veterans throughout Alaska on National Veterans Day, November 11th. It's typically down at the Westmark Hotel in the Gold Room, where we can have a fairly large audience. We have speakers from the military, speakers from the elected officials, the national and the 3 mayors of the community give us a proclamation every year. It's free to the community. We encourage people to show up and meet old friends. It's time for camaraderie again, and it's been very successful in the past.
Well, I tell you, it's what makes Fairbanks so special, in my opinion, is that and I talk about it all our newcomers briefs, is the teamwork, the camaraderie, and the linkage between the community and our post and the Air Force Base also. The support we get from you all is amazing. This is another example, and I'm excited to participate. What can we expect about the ceremony itself besides the guest speakers you just talked about?
We typically have one of the junior ROTC groups present a sword entrance. We have a joint color guard from the Army Air Force present the colors. And then we get into speakers. We have some local talent singers that sing the Alaska flag song, and probably God Bless America. And then at the end of it, we encourage people just to meet and renew friendships. It's free to the community. The Arctic Warrior Band typically plays a serenade before and after the activity. So it's just great, very informal, and gets a lot of attention.
Well, that's awesome. Well, like I said, I can't wait to be there. And again, just to reiterate, it's free. It's at 11 o'clock on the 11th of November. and you just show up to the Westmark and you can participate in the wonderful ceremony you guys are ready to put on. So another thing about Dave is he's a Purple Heart recipient. So when you talk about veterans, I know it means even more to you because you've been on the front lines. So thank you for everything you've done for our country and what you continue to do for our country by supporting our veterans and our active duty military.
This, as you know, this is a veteran
Yes.
happy community, and any veteran that comes in can't compare it to any other place they've ever stationed. That's why I retired here. That's why I plan to stay here.
Well, you just gave me chills because it's exactly what I say at our newcomers briefs. #1 state in the union per capita for veterans. Fairbanks is the largest for veterans per capita of the larger cities in Alaska. And when you start looking at dependents and spouses of those veterans, it gets into like the 30-40% range. It's phenomenal. And that's a brotherhood, sisterhood that never dies. Once you've served in uniform, served as a firefighter, served as a policeman, those are bonds that those type of people just, they never go away because it's a calling and it's a purpose that only a few of our civilians, of our citizens actually understand and like us. So thank you so much for everything you've done.
Thank you.
And will do.
Thank you.
All right.
It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. All right, team. So do you have school-age children? If you do, watch this program next by our exchange.
The Army and Air Force Exchange Service's You Made the Grade program is back and better than ever with bigger prizes for military kids. The exchange is kicking off its 22nd year of You Made the Grade, which rewards military students who maintain good grades. To participate in the program, sponsored this year by American Greetings, Fort Wainwright kids in 1st through 12th grade, including homeschool students, can bring their report cards to the exchange customer service area and present a valid military ID with proof of a B average or higher each grading period for prizes. Students with straight A's will receive a $20 exchange gift card and an exchange coupon sheet, and students with at least a B average will receive a $10 gift card and an exchange coupon sheet. Fort Wainwright students who participate in the You Made the Grade program can also enter a worldwide sweepstakes twice a year for even bigger prizes. Our students work hard to maintain good grades, and we will look forward to rewarding those efforts each grading period. So keep up the good work, and we'll see you at the exchange.
So welcome, my name is Command Sergeant Major Murillo, your Garrison Command Sergeant Major here at Fort Wainwright. So today I want to welcome Ms. Julia Brischer. She's here with us to talk about and discuss Domestic Violence Awareness and Prevention Month. Okay, so she's our Victim Advocate Coordinator. So we want to ask her a few questions. So first, let's start off with what is Domestic Violence Awareness Month? And most importantly, why is it so important?
Yeah, it is a month purely dedicated towards domestic violence awareness. So it's a time when allies, advocates, community members all come together, devote a month towards raising awareness, talking and educating the community about how to prevent domestic abuse, and also connecting individuals that are either victims or survivors to resources.
Okay, that's great. So our Family Advocacy Program, what do we have that planned out for this month?
Yeah, so we partnered with a lot of agencies here on the installation and off the installation for a jam-packed month of events and happenings.
Okay.
So a few things is we have a purple pumpkin decorating event, fun for the family. We also have a pet costume contest coming up. And our units are also participating by doing a Breaking the Silence video challenge and talking to their units about domestic violence as well.
Okay, that's great. So let me ask, so for our survivors and our victims of domestic violence, what resources do we have available here in Fort Wainwright?
So we have a lot of resources. The number one thing I always tell people to connect to is a victim advocate.
Okay.
So victim advocates are here to help survivors and victims navigate the different processes and just talk about next steps in their life. So we run a 24/7 hotline where a victim advocate is always on the other end of the call, and it can be confidential. Anyone can call, command team, soldiers, family members, and really we can just help them kind of hear what they're experiencing, how we can help, and how we can connect them to other things.
Okay, so that's great. So let me ask, what can we as a Fort Wainwright community do to raise awareness to the Break the Silence theme?
Yeah. So this theme of the month is Break the Silence.
Right.
and the main thing is just to talk about it.
Okay.
It's simple as that. We see domestic violence as a very large-scale global issue, but when individuals get together and just do small actions, it can contribute to a whole. So if you want to go above and beyond, the month's color is purple, so you can wear purple, put purple ribbons outside your office doors, bake purple desserts. Also just check in on family members and friends, just so that we can all kind of stand up together to be united against.
Well, Julia, thank you very, very much for coming here today and talking a little bit about it. So if you want to bring awareness to us, you want to help out, wear your purple shirts, wear something purple, decorate some purple pumpkins, come out and support, and always remember to call somebody and make sure that they know what's going on. All right, break the silence so that way you do not have to be alone in this, and you're not. Okay, so again, Julia, thank you very, very much.
Thanks,
I appreciate it. Okay, so now join us here for some winter safety driving tips here in Alaska. Thank you.
Hey, Fort Wainwright, this is Staff Sergeant Grossman here with Northern Warfare Training Center, and today we're going to talk about basic equipment that you'll have in your vehicle throughout the winter season in the event you become stranded or get stuck in a ditch. Obviously, you're going to have your snow scraper and snow broom. It's good to have some of these little traction devices. You don't have to necessarily get these, but they help out a little bit if you get high centered in some snow, just to you put them underneath your tire and it gives you a little bit more traction to be able to get out of that ditch. This little gear bag that usually tied to the back of your front seat, I put it in the back seat, and then I put in like a multi-tool, a couple spare pairs of gloves, some beanies. So I've got my coat in case I get stranded and it's super cold. I've got my coveralls as well. Now these aren't just gonna stay in here all year because I use these all winter. It's gonna be a fluid kit that you're gonna have. You're gonna be constantly taking the gear out and putting it back. Just make sure that it's all there when you go on your trip so that you don't get stranded, not have any of your cold weather gear. I'm also gonna wanna have my VB boots. If you don't have VB boots, like for your kids, any type of boots that are rated down to like say 40 below. Your other basic stuff, you've got a little snow shovel here. Make sure you try to get a metal one. It doesn't have to be a super small one like this. You can get a bigger one if you need. Insulating gloves, but also some snow protecting gloves. So these ones have like the hard shell, so I can be digging in snow as well. About a 20-foot toe strap, LED light, and it's got a magnet on it. You're always gonna need light because in the winter it's always dark, right? Got spare batteries for that, Army surplus aid bag, okay? So it's just got mostly Band-Aids for my kid or stuff like that. You can put whatever you need in it because it's got extra space. Tourniquets, trauma dressings, whatever. Make sure that you've got at least a small first aid kit. Lastly, underneath here, road flares are super important. This looks like a 15-minute one. Always have road flares because it is so dark, and make sure you offset them on the road wherever you go into the ditch, about 50 to 100 feet on either side.
All right, Fort Wainwright, we're back for closing comments. This is our 10th edition of Arctic Vibe. We've moved around the entire base and will continue to do so. Hope you join us for the next one. It's at Birch Hill Lodge on 27 October, and we're going to be talking about the upcoming ski season. As you know, last year our lodge, $18 million lodge, thank you to the Army for this, will open up last November. And so this year we're going to some new programming for it, and we hope that you take advantage of our ski hill. We're one of 3 in the Army. Fort McCoy and West Point are the other 2. So we're very fortunate to have it here. We have tubing, you got snowboarding, you got skiing, you got lessons, you got a wonderful lodge to hang out and eat, watch some videos, whatever. It's a wonderful place to spend your winter on the weekends, Friday through Sunday, and during the holidays, as we'll put out on the next session, there's a lot more time to ski. So I buy a pass every year, and it's easy to utilize. It's better to save money that way, or you can do individuals, however you choose to do it. As always, if you have any comments for improvement or what you'd like to see as a topic, please enter those into the comments below, or you can call our public affairs office. We will entertain that for sure because we're always looking for new ideas. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week, and winter's coming, so get ready. And we've got several videos coming up for that and opportunities for new families to learn about how to survive the winter in Alaska because it's different than anywhere else in the lower 48. Have a great day. Take care.